Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're watching from. Welcome to the Pungent Talk Hub, where we have a real conversation and we speak out the silent truth. Today, it's another good day that we've been privileged to meet again and have a talk and share. Now, today's topic is a little bit sensitive, and we want to look at it in a way that it's a more educational. But before we get into it, I want to put a disclaimer. I want to put a disclaimer onto our today's session that today's video is intended for educational purposes. It's also intended for documentary, and at the same time, it's about public interest purposes. It is based on publicly available court records and reputable news reporting. It does not seek to sensitize violence or defame any individual. So therefore, we're not defaming anybody. We're not sensitizing violence against anyone, but we want to make it more like a documentary, educational, and then it is something of a public interest. Get that into account. Now, today let's talk about something. Today I've decided to call it the garden estate of betrayal. The garden estate of betrayal. And let's dive into it and have this conversation because in one way or the other, nobody knows the future, nobody knows tomorrow, but tomorrow unveils whatever it deems right. They say the safest place is your own home. But what happens when the greatest danger is already waiting behind your front door? What do you think you will do? So, welcome to our channel. And today's episode takes us into one of Kenya's most shocking and emotional devastating homicide cases. I think you have heard of it. A story involving wealth, betrayal, family, and a carefully orchestrated crime that has stunned the nation. At first glance, we have the Gituma family appeared to have everything: a successful career, a thriving business, beautiful home, then in garden estates, and two young children. But behind the picture of success, investigators would later uncover a plot that prosecutors argued had been driven by financial motives and carried out with chilling calculations. This episode discusses real events involving violence. It is listeners' discretion is also advised. Let's begin. Now, Mr. Moses Mbaabu Gituma was a respected senior officer at the Central Bank of Kenya. Colleagues described him as disciplined, humble, and deeply committed to his work and family. You know, when you've built a reputation and discipline. His position provided financial stability, allowing his family to enjoy a comfortable life within the Nairobi Garden Estate. His wife, Janet Karamana Gituma, was an entrepreneur who owned and managed successful, beautiful salon located only a short distance from their home. Together, they were raising two young children. Two. meaning in one way or the other, this is a family that has been thriving in a way. To outsiders, they presented the image of success, loving family, living comfortably within household staff, security guard, and valuable property accumulated over years of hard work. Yet appearance can conceal tension that outsiders never see. So sometimes we conceal a lot within. Remember, family matters always remain family matters. But when it comes to the public, it is no longer a privacy. It has come to the public. Now the public will be consuming it. Now, one morning of October 23rd, that is 2009, Moses left for work, as he often did. Before leaving, he wrote down several household errands for Janet. Simple things: taking the family SUV to the mechanic, arrange roof repairs before the rains, having an electrician repair the security lights. Nothing about that morning suggested it will be the last normal day for his life. That evening, Janet closed her salon, according to the evidence later presented in court. She declined the client's offer for a ride home, explaining that she was waiting for workers to repair the roof. Instead, you know what happened? She walked home. She walked home. Investigator later alleged she was accompanied by 4 men. Okay, 4 men. At the estate gate, the night guard opened the entrance. Hours of silence followed. Instead, inside the house, according to the prosecution's case, everyone waited. They were waiting for one man. All of them. Now, a team of 5 waiting for one man to come. At around 2 o'clock in the morning, Moses returned home after another late shift at the central bank. The gates opened as usual. Everything appeared normal. But the moment he entered his house, he was attacked. Boom! An ambush. Attacked by some assailant. Actually, the assailant beat him so severely that he suffered catastrophic head injuries. Head injuries. You know, the head is a very sensitive part of the human body. Now, it has been attacked and sustains severe injuries, which is catastrophic. The home was ransacked, electronics disappeared, personal belongings vanished, even Moses' mobile phone was taken. Um, to investigators, it initially appeared to be a violent robbery. But as the investigations unfolded, the evidence began telling a different story. Something that looks like a robbery turns out to be a script, or it turns out to be a plan, something that was planned. Although Moses survived the assault that particular day, he never regained consciousness. So you have been attacked, you can survive, but regaining your consciousness is a long gone story. He was taken to the hospital. Doctors fought to save him. His family hoped for recovery. For more than 4 months, he remained hospitalized in a vegetative state. Then on March 2nd, 2010, he died from the injuries sustained during the attack. The giant has gone down. The case officially became a homicide investigation and not a robbery as it was anticipated. Not a robbery. Because Moses was the brother of former police commissioner, the investigation attracted significant attention. Detective launched an extensive inquiry. One crucial lead came from something many criminals overlook: A stolen phone. Stolen phone. I think you have a phone. Remember, we said in one of our podcasts that the gadgets we use sometimes they leave out metadata. So the handset now became a tool of question. Police tracked Moses' handset, that is phone, through multiple hands as it changed owners in the second-hand market. Each arrest led to investigators one step closer to those allegedly responsible. Then came another turning point. Think about it. Another turning point. Statements from household witnesses, including the house help and evidence presented regarding the children's observations, challenged Janet's account of events. Investigators also questioned inconsistencies in her explanation of what had happened after the attack. According to court findings, this inconsistency became important pieces of the prosecution's case. Eventually, detectives arrested several suspects, including the estate night guard and individuals alleged to have participated in the attack. So look at it, one piece after the other, one piece after the other. Little by little, the events now are turning out from something that would have been thought to be a robbery case to now a homicide. Now, during the trials, prosecutors argued that the attack was not a random burglary, but a planned conspiracy motivated by financial gain. Financial gain. The court had evidence regarding Moses' employment benefits, pensions, and estates. The prosecution's case was that eliminating Moses while the marriage still existed would leave Janet as the primary beneficiary of substantial assets. Are you safe? That is as per the investigation and the prosecution case. The accused person actually denied the wrongdoing, and the case proceeded through the courts. Look at that. Now it's turning away from the original point. Now it's becoming to something related to financial gain or interest. Ultimately, multiple individuals were convicted while one co-accused was acquitted. Janet Gituma's sentence changed several times over the years as Kenya's sentencing law evolved. She initially received a lengthy prison sentence, later faced a death sentence on appeal, and after subsequent legal developments following the Supreme Court's Murwatetu decision, the sentence was reduced by courts. That is things pertaining the justice system of each and every country. This case raises difficult questions. Do you know the kind of questions it raises? Can greed become powerful enough to destroy a family? Put that into question. Or how much do we really know about the people closest to us? How much? I know we have loved ones, left, right, and center. How much do you know about them? And how can an ordinary evening transform into a tragedy that changes so many lives forever? That's a slight, a 30 minutes, let's say a 30 minutes thing, or maybe less, or a 1 minute event can change your life forever. Beyond the legal proceedings, 2 children lost their father because the man died. A family was permanently altered. That is something that can never be reversed or be brought back. And a community was left confronting one of Kenya's most talked about criminal cases. Think of it. Is the conversation worth it? If we think that we know much, then let us have this conversation. This is a story that brings about the family system, the ventures we venture into, and the things we bring about. But at one point, the turn of events. I think we have had several cases whereby people have gone missing, others have been killed because of properties, struggles to gain access of properties. Through this kind of story, what do you learn? What do you think you should learn? If you think you have an idea, drop down a comment there. Let us have meaningful and respectful discussion. Actually, thank you for watching. If you enjoy well-researched African true crime stories grounded in court records and public reports facts, consider subscribing for more documentaries and podcast episodes. What lessons do you think this case teaches about trust, family, and the consequences of crime? Do you have an idea? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. Until next time, stay informed and always stay safe. Thank you.